Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Noah back again with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality. And thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about your safety. You see, this is a term that gets thrown around a lot, and I hear it very often, your safety. You know, especially in today's world with the whole coronavirus situation, the whole pandemic, right? There is a lot of talk about your safety. And, you know, it's a lot of the times when people talk about your safety, right? They don't really understand what it is that they're doing to actually help you, right? They're just saying that, oh, it's for your safety. And I hear this term a lot, especially with the vaccine, you know, the jab, right? The V, as you like to call it, as some people like to call it. But, you know, with this whole vaccine situation, you know, it seems like they're really trying to push these vaccines, and they're saying that it's for your safety. But in reality, we don't really know what's in the vaccines, right? We have no idea. The only people who know what is inside, you know, each and every ingredient are the people who created the vaccinations, right? And maybe Bill Gates. But, you know, so the truth is that we don't actually understand everything that's in the vaccine. We don't really know what's in the vaccine in general, right? They could say, oh yeah, it's a strain of COVID-19, but, you know, we just don't really necessarily know, right? And so a lot of the times when people talk about your safety, right, just think that if they actually even know what they're talking about, right? Because if I told you, if I put you in a cage and said, this is for your safety, right, you might not like it. Or you might ask as to how this is actually for our safety. You know, in terms of this whole coronavirus, a lot of times people are living in a state of fear, right? Meaning that they're always constantly worried about what's going to happen to them, what's going to go, you know, something could go wrong, what could potentially happen. And their mind is it's racing a lot. And this is exactly in the state of being that they want you in, you know what I'm saying? They meaning the government, right? Meaning, you know, the elite, whoever you want to call them. There is a higher power that controls a lot of the narrative that we actually see on social media, as well as, you know, in news in general, right? And so I want you to understand that just because somebody tells you that it's for your safety, be a little bit more mindful and, you know, ask how it is for our safety. You know what I mean? And with this whole COVID situation, you know, they're really trying to push this vaccine narrative and how it's very safe for us and how it's actually good for us, right? But not everything that's safe is actually good for us. You know, that's something that we have to realize is just because something is safe, right, doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for us, right? And this is the case for the vaccines, right? Just because it might potentially be safe from a 99% chance of survival, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean that it's good for us, right? And, you know, so I keep seeing this term, it's for your safety, right? But, you know, in general, humans are adventurous creatures, and so a lot of the times laws are created for our safety. You know, I have nothing against laws. I think that laws are necessary to an extent, right? But I also think that because humans by nature are adventurous, right, we tend to break those laws sometimes, you know what I mean? And we're not going to follow 100% of the rule book, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of just who we are as creatures. We are adventurous, right? We like taking risks, and taking risks are a part of life. It's how we accomplish and live our dream life, right? We have to take risk. And so because of this, right, understand that the same thing goes for the vaccine, right? Just because it might be a law or just because it might be required or for our safety doesn't mean that we necessarily have to take it. You know, and don't ever let someone make you feel uncomfortable for not doing anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. You know, and you know, a lot of the times I hear this term, your safety, get thrown around a lot, but in reality, what are some of the things that are being promoted on TV, right? On television? We have to understand that our water system, right? A lot of the water that we drink actually has fluoride in it. And, you know, tap water has fluoride in it. And so when we drink it, fluoride, if you don't know what fluoride is, it's actually a chemical that disrupts our pineal gland function. And our pineal gland is the connection from the third dimensional reality, this 3D realm, to the spirit world, meaning to our soul, right? And so when this is out of touch, you know, we're a lot easier to be controlled, right? It's a lot less likely for us to question stuff. You know, our intuition it gets jumbly, right? And if you don't believe me, you can look this up. It's actually a well-known fact that fluoride disrupts our pineal gland, and we need our pineal glands to function. We need them functioning properly in order to live a healthy and live a sustainable life, you know. And so when a lot of the times when they talk about our safety, they also say that drinking the water supply is safe, right? And it goes back to what I was talking about before. You know, they say that it's safe, but that doesn't mean that it's good for us. And so we have to really question the narrative of your safety, right? We have to question, why do they keep saying this? You know, it's because they want us to keep conforming. They want us to keep living life on their terms. But in reality, we have to live life on our terms, right? We have to start voting for ourselves. And what I mean by that is really listening to your heart and following your dreams, right? A lot of the times we like to believe that life is so limited, but in reality, there's a limitless amount of potential that we have, you know, and I'm here to remind you of that. I'm here to remind you that you can do anything that it is that you want to, right? I'm here to remind you of all the abilities that you actually have, that you can do, that you are in control of, right? And so when we say your safety, right, we have to think about, what are they telling us that is safe, right? A lot of the red meat that we consume, right? I don't consume that. I'm a vegan, right? Shout out to all my vegans out there. 7-day vegan challenge, right? But shout out to Ralph Smart. Anyways, a lot of the red meat that is actually sold to us is labeled by the WHO, aka the World Health Organization, as a type 1 carcinogen, meaning that it's as cancerous as a cigarette. You know, it has the same, a carcinogen is a chemical that is found in cigarettes, and that same chemical is found in a lot of red processed meats, right? But yet they tell us that it's safe to eat that, right? So would that be as equally as safe as taking the vaccine? Because if that's the case, I'm good, right? And so we really have to start questioning the narratives about what it is that we see, right? A lot of the times we have to start waking up to our true potential, and we can't wake up to our true potential if we're constantly feeding into the narrative that's being shown to us, right? Because if we keep believing the narrative that's being shown to us, right, we're going to be a lot easier, it's easy for us to be controlled, right? We don't make our own decisions, right? Somebody makes the decision of what we need to do for us. And so that's why I think it's important to question this narrative of your safety, because it's something that I keep hearing. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about the truth about your safety, right? A lot of the times like I said, with this whole coronavirus vaccine, they're pushing it so much, but in reality, you know, I've heard that it takes like over a year for a vaccine to actually be developed, right? How long have they been working on it? At least like, you know, at the very most 8 or 9 months, I would think, right? And so, you know, we have to start questioning our reality. This is how we can free our mind. And when we start to free our mind, this is when we start to live in abundance. This is when we start to live the life of our dreams, the life of who we came here to be, right? Starting to understand a lot more about who we are, right? And if you're finding yourself having trouble with what I'm saying, or you really don't resonate with what I'm saying, that's okay. And if you find yourself resisting a lot of the things that I'm saying as well, that's okay as well. You know, I want you to practice stillness and practice sitting by yourself in a quiet space and just focusing on your breath, right? A lot of the times when we focus on our breath, our mind will want to wander, but that's okay too. Just let it wander. But bring yourself, you know, your mind will always bring yourself back to presence when you're being still. And that's why I think it's a huge thing, especially in today's terms, right? We unlock ultimate intelligence when we practice stillness. It's crazy, you know, it's as crazy as I say this, right? A lot of people would think of me as not super smart because I failed school, but in reality, school failed me, right? But that's a whole nother topic. What I'm telling you is when we practice stillness, we can start to ask questions about why we're actually living here. And we start to find out who we are. And because of this, we start to understand that a lot of the times what the narrative is wanting to push isn't good for us, right? You have to ask, why is it that when I see a commercial, all of it is fast food, right? Why is there nothing that I see on the television that is actually promoting healthy, whole-grown, organic, alkaline fruits and vegetables? Right? There's a reason for that, because when we start eating these foods, we become aware of who we are. And, you know, if all of us were to be eating very healthy and food that is good for us, right, we'd all be able to differ as to what we need and what we don't. And we'd be able to realize that we don't need the vaccine. And so, you know, like I said, this is my opinion. If this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, great as well. I still love you the same. But with that being said, my friends, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. And as well as if you want to order these amazing products for a company that I've actually started to work with, it's called Live Ultimate. Click the link in the description below. You can get access on up to 15% if you order monthly. But with that being said, my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at. And peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.